Welcome back to the Woodshed. This is episode 15. I'm John Lamberton. Today we're going to be picking up where we left off yet again with swing feel. And I wanted to sort of explore quintuplet swing and some ways to sort of have some fun with this and apply exponents. So before we get into that, I wanted to talk about the tune All Blues from Kind of Blue by Miles Davis and some sort of ideas that we can extract from this. So basically, if you don't know the tune, it's extremely popular. It's like one of the most played jazz songs ever. It's a 3/4 blues in G, and it has this bass line that comes in, and the piano and the horns do this vamp that follows the waltz sort of form of it, and it'll be like do 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 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3. And so what do we know about 1 2 3, where it's basically 2 plus 1 equals 3? This is essentially the 2-to-1 swing feel we've been talking about. It's basically just a standard triplet feel, but in this case, since it's in 3/4, it's actually being expressed as a meter. So it's kind of like we took a swing feel and slowed it down such that it became the meter. And the interesting thing, though, is that on top of that, within each quarter note pulse, they do a swing feel. So you kind of have a big swing and a little swing that comes inside each pulse of the big swing. So you have so it becomes basically a 9 feel, although everybody would write it out probably as 3/4 with a triplet feel. It's interesting, though, because that's actually a lot more effort, unless you take the shortcut and say, eighth notes become swing, or swing eighth notes. But if we put it in 9, you would have to switch the tempo because, you're fitting 3 eighth note, fitting 3 eighth notes in the space of 3 triplet eighth notes. So it's actually, instead of being a 140 beat per minute tempo, it's going to be a dotted quarter equals 140. And so this allows us to adjust the whole sort of structure so that you can treat it as 9. But in any case, it's kind of cool because it's swing within swing. It's basically swing raised to the power of 2, swing squared, Matrushka swing or something like that. But I was thinking about this, and, since I introduced in episode 14 this idea of sort of different ratios of swing feel by combining natural numbers and using tuplets to fit them within each pulse, we were talking about basically quintuplet swing, among others. So that is to say, for each quarter note pulse, instead of fitting 3 notes in as your subdivision and doing a 2 plus 1, instead you fit 5 subdivisions in with a quintuplet, and you group it 3 plus 2. And so for each pulse, it's 1 2 3 1 2 1 2 3 1 2 1 2, and that might not sound like swing necessarily, but it's pretty close ratio wise. It's 3 to 2 versus 2 to 1, and if we speed that up enough, then you can sort of hear it as like this da 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 da, but it's going to be actually with a underlying quintuplet division. But what better tune to sort of explore the same thing from All Blues, where it's that swing feel and then a big version of it, or like the big version with the small version inside it, then Take 5. So if we wanted to do quintuplet swing, we could do Take 5 and switch the triplet feel to a quintuplet feel. This would require turning on the tempo a lot to actually make it work and make it sort of feasible to play. But this, the tune, everybody knows it, of course, and it's at about 170, 160 something beats per minute. And so we're going to have to slow that down significantly. But instead of doing the triplet feel, what we're going to do is for each quarter note, act as if there's a quintuplet there, group it 3 plus 2, and treat the song as normal. And so basically what I've done, though, is I've taken it a step further, the way that we might say, instead of like 3/4 with a triplet feel, instead I'm saying 5/4 with a quintuplet feel. So you might say 3/4 with a triplet feel could be 9, and similarly you could say 5/4 with a quintuplet feel is 25. So basically the higher the numbers you do with exponents in these sort of, swing rhythm squared or meter and subdivision type of mirroring things, it's going to get a lot harder to make it function as a standard pulse. But basically, if we slow the tune down from about 170 beats per minute to about 120 beats per minute, then we can fit those quintuplets in there. And then if we want to make it a little bit easier on ourselves, or for me, notation-wise maybe, we can yet again adjust that. And so basically, if you want to know the quarter note pulse instead of, like the quarter note for 25, if you want to know that pulse instead of the sort of, 5/5 pulse or whatever, where it's like an actual quarter note with the quintuplet in it, if we want to treat those just as 5/16 notes, then it would instead be converted to 150 beats per minute. And actually, I sort of broke this down a little bit more thoroughly and realized that the video didn't fully save or record or whatever. So I'm just sort of giving a quick spiel through here, and then I will have the notation and the example that you can look at. But overall, the tune is slowed down, and so it doesn't have the same sort of tempo on the macroscopic level, but I adjusted it to basically be a feasible tempo according to a 100 millisecond threshold. So nothing is really smaller than that unit of time. And so, it can still feel good, but the tune overall is slower because it's just, you have to, basically. And so basically, I just wanted to leave you with this example of take 5 squared, where, again, we are putting 5 subdivisions within each pulse to create a meter of 25 instead of doing the typical 5/4 with a triplet swing feel. And so I just think this is kind of funny to say take 5 squared. And so anyway, if you want to shed over this Jamie Aebersold style, be my guest. I'll have the notation and the audio with some computer improvisation. So enjoy. Thanks.